Another day, another wrestling show, and it is having no mercy on Fog Wrestling. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Yes, it's another day, it's another video. It's time to talk about WWE No Mercy. And I'll be completely honest, I don't know the last wrestling show that I actually watched in this current day and time. Yeah, I've been watching the Ruthless Aggression stuff, been watching SmackDown and Raw from 2003, but in terms of current day wrestling, what was the last show I sat down and watched? What was the last show I even sat down and looked at the highlights of? It's been long. It's been a long time. It's been weeks. It's actually been weeks since I watched a show. Probably night one of SummerSlam might have been the last time I actually watched a wrestling show. The point is, guys, it sucks. And I just lost complete interest in it. I don't think wrestling has ever been worse than it currently is right now. But I accept it's not good enough. Got a wrestling channel here on the good old YouTube. So how can I really do this if I'm not watching it? So next week, I'm going to try and get back into the swing of things. I'm going to try and start watching the shows. And the shows that I can't watch, I'm going to try to at least consume some highlights so I can get a basic idea of what is going on. But I'll be honest, last few weeks I haven't watched any wrestling at all, and it's not good enough. But I will improve, I will get better, and I will try to once again get in the swing of things. But for me, it is close to unwatchable, and that's the reason why I haven't been doing it. So there you go. Plus I do work like 70 hours a week, so finding time to watch wrestling, unfortunately, is tough. It would be tough if wrestling was good. So when wrestling's shite, it makes it even harder to find that time and that availability to sit down and just dedicate. It is. It's hard. I mean, if you add up all the hours of wrestling that you need to watch every week, if you want to review all the main shows, like your Raws, SmackDowns, NXTs, Dynamites, Collision, I mean, you're looking at like what? Wait, over 10 hours at least. At least. Then if you want to throw in TNA, you're looking at about 12 hours. Raw's always about 2.5, so let's say 12.5. Then if you want to watch like something else, I don't know, some jobber show, or if there's a AAA show on, or if there's a pay-per-view on, and sometimes now you see WWE, they counteract AEW, so whenever there's an AEW show on, you've got a WWE show on as well. So like sometimes in AEW shows last like 6 hours, the pay-per-views. So I mean, if you've got like a weekend of wrestling where there's a pay-per-view on, you can be looking at, no joke, you're looking at probably close to 25 hours of wrestling for that week. And it's like, who can be bothered? And that's just like watching the main shows. That's just watching WWE, NXT, AEW, and TNA. If you get a weekend where there's like a pay-per-view on and WWE are counter-programming AEW, you're talking like at least 25 hours of wrestling for that week. And 25 hours would be extremely difficult if it was if wrestling was good. 25 hours would be difficult to consume. Never mind current wrestling when it's not good, it's shit. But anyway, let's talk about No Mercy here. WWE No Mercy. I remember this used to be like associated with the blue brand of SmackDown. I always associate No Mercy with SmackDown around the I think 2005, 2006. Pretty sure it was the SmackDown brand had No Mercy. Now NXT have got it, and I mean, what can we say about this? Not a lot, you know, just boring. I've zero interest in NXT, but we do have a brand new NXT champion, and he goes by the name of Wwe Nxt. And I was pretty surprised, actually, with the outcome of this match. Wwe Nxt defeating Obafemi. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. Obafemi's been treated as this unstoppable monster, this unbeatable monster, but he lost tonight to, what, 35-year-old Wwe Nxt? I think Wwe Nxt is 35, actually. Let's just have a quick look here and see what age the guy is. Now, I'm not saying he is 35. Now, I'm not saying you can't win a title if you're 35, but this is the development brand. Who are they developing? I mean, seriously, NXT, isn't this supposed to be creating the stars of the next generation? The future stars are supposed to come from NXT. It's like when they had guys like Braun Breaker and Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes is like, all right, I understand. Those are the kind of guys that you should be bringing through. I remember they used to have like Tommaso Ciampa feuding with those guys, and then they moved Dolph Ziggler on it, and I thought, well, what's the fucking point? You know, these guys are in their late 30s, 40s. Why are these guys on NXT? What's the point? You know, have them on the main... If they're not main roster worthy at the age of fucking 40, then you're never going to be main roster worthy. And it's the same thing here with Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints at 35, it should be sink or swim. If he's good enough, then he should be in Raw and SmackDown. If he's not, then he shouldn't. But you know what? I'll actually argue that I believe that NXT is the worst thing that can happen to wrestling, because you just look at wrestling when they brought up wrestlers that were young and they just organically took to the... And it was actually cool to see people that were green. Like when Maven won Tough Enough and they just threw him straight onto the main roster and you seen him wrestle, he was green, but that actually kind of went towards the Maven character, you know. That was part of his... Oh, you get to see him progress. The same thing with like Brock and Randy and Cena. You get to see these guys improve week in, week out. And if they're on the main roster and they're wrestling the top guys, then they're going to improve and they're going to get better at a quicker rate. If you've got all these like guys that are down in NXT and they're taking like 5 years of their career in NXT, then you're just wasting. You're wasting their time. I think NXT is dumb. And if you're going to be on NXT, I think it should be like a 1 year maximum. I think after 1 year, you should be automatically pushed to the main roster. That's what I would do. If it was me and I had NXT, I would, after 1 year, I would either decide whether you were going to Raw or SmackDown, or if you were getting cut and you were getting fired. Because I just think it's dumb that you've got people that will spend 4 or 5 years on the development brand. I mean, if you can't develop in that amount of time, then what are you doing? And you're just losing all these great moments. And then by the time you bring someone up from NXT onto the main roster, it's like they've done so much. I mean, look at The Rock. The Rock pretty much had his career in like a 4 or 5 year period. That was it. Then he left. People are now spending 4 or 5 years in NXT. Like Tony D'Angelo. I like Tony D'Angelo because he's got the whole family, the whole mafia, the kind of like soprano mafia boss gimmick going on. But he's done so much shit in NXT. It's like, even if he gets promoted to the main roster, it's like, you've already went through most of the stuff that you can do. So if they do any more of that, it's just going to be like rehashing the same crap on the main roster. Makes no sense to me. I think NXT's crap. I personally wouldn't have it, but whatever. We do have it. I mean, if you're going to have any... Look at ECW, right? Look at ECW and Vince was there. Originally it started as like the old school ECW, and then Vince kind of changed it. It transitioned into being the third brand, and it became like a WWE's third brand rather than like an ECW standalone show. It just became like a 1 hour SmackDown, essentially. And like McMahon would bring up people and he'd put them on ECW, and if they showed potential within like a couple of months, they'd get moved to like Raw or SmackDown. Look, and this is fucking true. Whether it be the likes of Sheamus or like a Kofi Kingston, or you know, people like this. If somebody looked good on ECW and they had like big ambitions for them, they'd move them like pretty much within a few months to the main roster. They didn't keep them on ECW for fucking years. ECW went out of business. You know, they shut ECW down after like 4 years. We're seeing people spend more than 4 years in NXT. It's absolutely dumb. Anyway, rant over, let's get into this shit. Siobhan Evans defeated Josh Briggs in a match that took over 16.5 minutes. Why? What is the point? Siobhan Evans 16 minutes with Josh Briggs. Who the fuck wants to watch that for 16.5 minutes? Sol Ruka with Saria defeated Jada Parker by pinfall to retain the WWE Women's Speed Championship match in 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Right, there was a number one contenders tournament for this Speed Championship. Candice LeRae defeated... So listen to it. So Candice LeRae defeated Shia Brookside. And Lainey Reed defeated Fabi Apache. That was the 2 first round matches. So in the first round, you had a fucking jobber, an absolute jobber, and Candice LeRae defeat somebody from TNA. And then in the other first round matchup, you had Lainey Reed, who sounds like a porn star, defeated somebody from AAA. So here's two bums. A jobber called Candice LeRae and Lainey Reed, I've no idea who she is, and they defeated a TNA and a AAA person respectively. Even when it comes to WWE Speed Championship, AAA people and NXT, TNA people just cannot buy wins. They get jobbed at. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. Then in the final, Lainey Reed defeated Candice LeRae, but Lainey Reed was unable to compete at the show because of an injury, so she got replaced by Jada Parker, who wasn't even in the in the tournament. Why not let Candice LeRae get the title? Why not let Candice LeRae? She was in the final of the tournament, so why not let her get the match? What sense does that make? None. Then we got Jordynne Grace defeating Blake Monroe in a weaponized steel cage match. People saying this was better than our match with Toni Storm and Aid. No, it wasn't. The Hollywood end. No, it wasn't. It just fucking wasn't. I mean, they were using, like, toys. Fucking, oh, look, there's fake wee plastic gems. Oh, ECW. People are chanting ECW for this garbage, man. What a mess. What a mess. Look how much the standards have dropped that people are chanting ECW for some shitey match with Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe. Anyway, Jordynne Grace wins because she looks like a man, I guess. What else? Then Ethan Page defeated Tavian Heights for the NXT North American Championship in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Jacy Jayne with Fallon Henley defeated Lola Fice by pinfall in 18 minutes and 35 seconds for the WWE NXT Women's Championship. This was the longest match of the night. Does anybody want to sit and watch a near 20-minute match between Jacy Jayne and Lola Fice? No, absolutely not. Somebody with a mask on attacked Lola Fice. Who cares? Seriously, who cares? We don't need a match that lasts over 18 and a half minutes. All we need is Lola Fice to come out, shake her ass, a wee tune goes on, and that's it. That's all you need. You don't need this 18 and a half shite fest match between Jacy Jayne and Lola Fice. And then in the main event, Ricky Saints defeated Obafemi for the NXT Championship in 17 minutes and 20 seconds because, I mean, why the hell not? Maybe Obafemi is now going to go to the main roster. I just don't know why they're so adamant on, like, you know, pinning somebody. Oh, if you want to go to the main roster, you need to lose. It's like, here, why not send somebody to the main roster with a bit of fucking momentum? Look at what they did with Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes and Roxanne Perez and people like that. They literally turned them into jobbers on NXT before moving them to Raw or SmackDown. If you're a fucking jobber on NXT, then why are we supposed to take you seriously on Raw or SmackDown? Why can't they just have, like, Obafemi lose or something in a triple threat match? Or, I don't know, some fake injury shit where he fake hates the title. It's just dumb that all these champions need to lose before going to Raw. It's like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, look at when Bobby Lashley got moved to Raw in the draft. They didn't have Bobby Lashley lose the ECW title to fucking Nunzio, did they? Because then who the hell would watch Bobby Lashley and Cena at the Great American Bash and believe that Bobby Lashley could win if Bobby Lashley lost to Nunzio? No, they had Bobby Lashley destroy everybody on ECW, and then he gets called up to Raw in the draft. He has to vacate the ECW title, and people are looking at Bobby Lashley going, holy shit, he destroyed everybody in ECW, now he's coming to destroy everybody on Raw. Imagine if they spent like the last 6 months, and Lashley I don't even think was on ECW for 6 months, but the point is, imagine if they spent months jobbing Lashley out on ECW before moving him to Raw to face Cena. I mean, who would have really taken Lashley as a threat? Nobody. So anyway guys, there you go, that's your NXT recap there. Show was probably shit. Didn't have any interest in it. Starting next week, I'll watch these shows. But yeah, right now, guys, I've no interest. They absolutely are garbage. And yeah, Triple H, you've killed wrestling, you big-nosed wanker. You've killed it. It's your fault. And yeah, you've... Triple H and TKO, worst thing to ever happen to wrestling. Damn killed it.